So this morning, I want to share with you something that I noticed in the past few weeks, and language barriers, and King James Version does not help at all, but language barriers are a problem when it comes to translating from Hebrew to English, or whatever language that you speak as your first language. Now, in the previous videos, I've tried to do my best to explain in the current English language, using Strong's Concordance, what these scriptures are saying. There is one particular passage in Yoel 3. It's not Joel 3. It is Yoel. That's the name. That has been overlooked because it seems likely that translation, once again, King James translation got it wrong. Some of you may think that it's a small thing, but I'm going to prove to you today that it is not. Okay? So, we're going to go over these verses again like I did the other day. And then we're going to come to this particular passage where it appears that there has been a slight mistranslation, and that mistranslation would cause you to gloss right over a very glaring truth. And that truth is about the timing of the Moshiach, when he comes to save Israel. In that day, in that time, I will return the captives of Yehuda and Jerusalem. Does it say anything about the other tribes of Israel? No. Now, in other translations, they will say, okay, hold on. Well, in King James Version and also in Holman's Version, it says, in those days and that time when I restore the fortunes of Yehuda and Jerusalem. Okay. That's interesting. But I'll continue. Oh, what have I done? Hold on. I will gather the Goyim, the Gentiles, and bring them down into the valley of, it says Jehoshaphat, means Jehovah judges. So the valley of judgment. For my people and my heritage, my possession, Israel. Now, this is for his people and for my heritage, property. You see what it says right there? Property. So these are two things, for the people of Israel and for his property. The land that belongs to him. He's going to fight them for it. Okay? See, this is one of those things where the right here, the English language should be enough, but people are so dense. Their minds are so fogged that they cannot make that connection. They scattered among the Gentiles, the people, and they made deals, parted, divided, and shared the land amongst each other. The Gentiles did. They cast lots for my people, and given a boy for a harlot, and have sold a girl for wine that they may drink. Tyre and Zidon. Tyre and Zidon are in Lebanon. So this is referring to modern day Lebanon. And then the coast of, as they say, Palestine. But in those days it was Pelesheth. Will you pay me back for returning Yehuda to Jerusalem, or returning Yehuda and Jerusalem, or returning Jerusalem to Yehuda? Folks, expand your minds a little bit, please. If you do this. So, is Jerusalem in the possession now of Yehuda? Yes. Arguably, yes. Even though the Jordanians still have their fingers on it, the embassies are now in the possession, or are now in Jerusalem. Okay? Remember what happened with the last president. How he, the last president of the United States, how he recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. That would be all of Jerusalem. And remember how certain nations followed suit and others did not. So, Yehuda they have possession of Jerusalem. Do we not agree? So, this war is in recompense for Jehovah giving Jerusalem back to the Jews. Can we agree on this? Now, if they attack the Jews for finally having their hands on Jerusalem, the city of David, including East Jerusalem, if they attack Yehuda for this, that would be Lebanon and Pelesheth, Gaza. He says he's going to swiftly and speedily return recompense for what they did to the people of Israel. It is going to be an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Okay? So he says, you took my silver and gold, and you carried into your temples my pleasant things. The children of Yehuda and Jerusalem you sold to the Greeks, a.k.a. Western civilization, that you might remove them far from the border. I will raise them out of the place where you have sold them, and he did, and will return your recompense upon your own head. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hands of Yehuda, which means Yehuda is going to defeat them. That would be Tyre and Zidon, and the coasts of Pelesheth. And they will sell them to the Sabians. to a people far off, because Jehovah has spoken it. And of course, this triggers the rest of the Gentiles to come up and to try to make war against the Jews. Prepare war, wake the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near. Ascend. Okay, ascend. Now I want you to remember that word, because ascend means to climb up. You see, Jerusalem is up on the hill. The valley of Megiddo is in the highlands. That's because Megiddo is a mountain, okay? That area is highlands going up to the mount. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, and let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, you heathen, you goyim, and gather yourselves round about. Now, this is where the little passage is that everyone has missed. Well, today, everyone is going to have the opportunity to know what this says. Now, I'm going to prove it to you that my reading on this is accurate. I'm going to prove it to you. All right, you ready? Mighty to come down. Jehovah. Now, King James Version says, calls your mighty ones to come down there, Jehovah. But is that singular or is that plural? King James Version makes it plural. It could be singular or plural. Okay? Strong, mighty. Champion. That's the first word of translation here. All right, come on. Hold on. Watch this, watch this. Cause your champion to come down, Jehovah. Uh-oh. So the enemies are ascending, that means climbing up, and the champion of Jehovah is descending, coming down. Am I reaching for it? Am I reaching too far? Or maybe it was just too obvious. So obvious that people just couldn't see it. Oh, so I'm addressing the Jews right now, okay? My brethren, my kin, the Jews, okay? Now I'm going to address you Christians, my enemy, for what you have done to the Jews. Netanyahu. He says, this is the return of the Son of Man. And he says in verse 28, for wherever the carcass is, wherever the fall of what is, there were the vultures are gathered together. After the tribulation of Israel shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light. Okay? Verse 15 of Yoel 3. Jews, listen carefully. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And Jehovah shall roar from Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the sky and the earth shall shake. And Jehovah, not but Jehovah, it's and Jehovah will be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. Notice he didn't say the children of Yehudah. He said the children of Israel, which encompasses all the tribes of Israel, including Yehudah. Okay? So, the champion. Assemble yourselves, and come all you Gentiles, and gather yourselves together round about. Cause your champion. Champion. To come down, Jehovah. See, both Jehovah and the champion are going to come down. It is written in the sixth seal. Watch this. We have the same event here. I beheld, and he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So we have three scriptures pointing to the same event. And the stars of the sky fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when it is shaken with a mighty wind. And the heavens, the sky, separated, parted asunder. Why did it do that? Why did the sky part? Because something is coming down. Someone is coming down. Who is that someone? As a scroll, when it is rolled together. So, like that. And every mountain and coastland were moved out of their place, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, commander of thousands, and mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall upon us, and hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne. Who is the one that sits on the throne? Jehovah. Yoel 3. Jehovah will roar out of Zion, so he's going to come down. Not the Lord. Jehovah. That's the Abba. That is the Creator. He's coming down. But wait, it says right here in verse 11. Bring your champion down, Jehovah. That's what it says. Ready? All right. Hide us from the face of him that sits on the throne, that is Jehovah, and from the wrath of the Lamb. They're both coming down. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? And there you have it, folks. Lebanon and Pelesheth, Gaza, will start it, and Jehovah and his champion will finish it. How about that for a revelation?